He said I took a shortcut. That a real man wouldn't have cheated.
So I took a week off, man. I did like fantastic content and I was like, time to rest. I lie. This is my day job. I actually have a day job. I was working my ass off there. But one of the discussions that I've seen on the Reddit, but then I've also seen on Twitter, and then low key also seen on TikTok. TikTok is like an escape. I go there not to think about things, but because I do this, voice content filters in. Was that there was an argument of the fact that Soldier Boy's father was abusive. I disagree. I do not believe that his father was abusive in any way. It physically, I don't think his father was abusive. His father was he was basically a man of the times. And you have to remember that Soldier Boy was born in like the 1900s. By the time we see him in The Boys, he's already like 122 years old. I think his birthday was like 1902. We can actually low key look that up while we're doing this. But because of being a man of the times, his father was a pull yourself up by the bootstraps type of guy. And what I mean by that is date of birth 1999. So he was literally like 103 years old by the time we encounter him in The Boys season 3. But his father was a pull yourself up by the bootstraps type of person. He basically built himself from the ground up to be this magnate in Philadelphia. And the thing that Vought pushed was a lie. The Vought pushed that, oh, he was poor and he had to learn the values of hard work and he had to build himself up and he got injected with V so that he could become the great American hero, Soldier Boy. But it was bullshit. In truth, his father was extremely rich and he was a spoiled brat. And because he was a spoiled brat, he didn't complete his education. I think he left boarding school or something along those lines. And or he flunked out. And his father called him a disappointment because he couldn't even do that. Like he couldn't lead a decent life. He couldn't go to boarding school and get a decent education. He wasn't strong to lead the company that his father wanted to leave for him. So his father called him unworthy to carry basically like the family name going forward. And in his, it's not even really a come to Jesus moment, but in that moment, he used his father's connections to basically get into Vought's experimentation to be injected with Temp V to become a hero. Here's the thing. There's also this misunderstanding that people believe that he went off to fight the war. He did not. Soldier Boy stayed in America. Like we have that guy, he basically literally tells you that in that episode where he goes to get his uniform, he gets the shield, and he's talking to Huey, I believe, and he's like, this motherfucker never fought on D-Day. He never fought any Germans. They were like, we went over there, we shot some promotional stuff 2 weeks after the boys had like secured the beach. And then we shot some more promotional stuff like further on, always behind enemy lines. Soldier Boy is basically the Captain America that never got out of the American PR stage. So you remember in like Captain America the First Avenger where Steve had to like put on the costume and he had to sing and he had to dance and he had to do like the routine with the women doing the kicks with the legs and to boost up the troops. Soldier Boy was stuck in that phase. And he basically rode that from around the 1940s all the way up until the Nicaragua incident in, when the hell was the Nicaragua incident? Nicaragua incident was 1980. No, the Nicaragua incident was, actually have it up. Funny enough, after I looked up his age, not even fucking here. Absolutely upsetting. 1986, 1982, 1985, whatever, doesn't matter. But the Nicaragua incident occurred, and he was essentially captured. The Nicaragua incident was literally like one of the first active military engagements where he was put in the field, and even then it was all for basically PR. Like Vought wanted more PR over the whole situation that was going on, and they sent Payback down there, because before that Payback was doing street level things. This is why Mother's Milk has like this major beef with Soulja Boy, because that car robbery that he stopped by throwing the Benz through the house, killing MM's like entire fucking family, that's basically what Payback was doing. They went to award shows, he was singing, he was doing movies, he was bullshitting. And one of the major reasons as to why basically his character beat the shit out of Black Noir and basically just demonized all the members of Payback was because they were movie stars. The reason why he beat the hell out of Black Noir was because he told each and every one of them that they're not supposed to rise above the stars that they are. They're supposed to be below him when it comes to basic star power, and they're always supposed to stay below him. They're always supposed to stay in their place. So when one of them got a little bit chippy or was starting to expand and become more popular than him, he reminded them that he was top dog. And for Noir, Noir became essentially the major punching bag, because Noir was a character favorite, which is why he was getting like movie offers, and why he was one of the first people to jump into the idea of basically betraying Soulja Boy to get him the hell up out of the way so that he could step forward and become basically the new hero of Payback. Of course, it didn't work out. Soulja Boy basically took a shield and was just like to the back of Noir's head. But there are just so many misconceptions that I've seen from people online in regards to Soulja Boy, where it's just like, no, he was not poor. He was actually rich. No, he did not fight the Nazis. That was bullshit. He didn't fight the Germans. That was also bullshit. He didn't fight at D-Day. That was bullshit. He was an actor. He was basically Steve Rogers, who never escaped being the showman. That he was always stuck as being the propaganda tool that was never deployed in war. See the difference between them, and I think one of the things that probably would have made him, or at least made his father love and appreciate him, was that if he had taken the Steve Rogers route, which is start off as the propaganda tool, then actually end up being boots on the ground, fighting overseas with people actually putting themselves on the line, and he had actually helped to end the war, his father's opinion of him would have completely changed. But because he took the injection and he took basically the fame, but he wasn't actually putting himself in danger, his father basically called him out on it as for what he actually was, which is his father started off by telling him that he was a fucking disappointment, and then when he came back and he was like, look at me, I'm the great superhero, his father reiterated what he told him before. You took a fucking shortcut. You weren't brave enough to go over there like those other boys were to fight and die for your country. You became fucking this, which is just a caricature of what those of bravery that those soldiers are actually showing, and you're still a fucking disappointment. But yeah, that's basically it. That's just something that I actually wanted to clear up in regards to like Soulja Boy and like his motives and whether or not he was like an actual soldier, because there's a lot of people just walking around thinking that my man was over there like Captain America, just like knocking out Nazis. He was knocking out no Nazis, bruh. But he was in a Hollywood studio taking pictures and sleeping with old ass women. But that's basically it. I'll catch you in the next one.